Before humans had names, before fire had purpose, before language learned how to lie, there were the architects, not gods in the way humans later imagined, but forces of precision. They shaped stars like equations. They balanced galaxies the way a mathematician balances proof. Life to them was an experiment, elegant, predictable, replaceable. They created thousands of species across the cosmos, all of them obedient, all of them efficient, all of them correct, and all of them forgettable. Then came Earth, a volatile planet, unstable plates, violent weather, a constant state of almost collapse. The architects should have erased it. Instead, they hesitated. Something about chaos intrigued them, so they tried something new. They didn't design humanity to be perfect. They designed humanity to adapt. Fragile skin, weak claws, limited vision, short lives, mistakes layered on mistakes. But buried deep inside that flawed design was something no other species had ever carried: defiance. Humans were not made to dominate. They were made to endure, and endurance, as the universe would soon learn, is far more dangerous. Every creation demands a counterweight, so the architects released one. They called it the first monster, though it had no name of its own. It was not born, it was deployed, a living correction. Where humans multiplied, it culled. Where humans learned, it erased. Where humans hoped, it crushed. The monster did not hate humanity. It simply did not recognize them as necessary. It moved like a shadow that remembered being a god. Its body shifted, bone into smoke, smoke into iron. Weapons shattered against it. Fire bent away. Entire tribes vanished in a single night. The monster was not evil, it was efficient, and to the architects watching from beyond time, that should have been the end. Humans could have fled. They could have hidden underground, waited it out, accepted extinction quietly. But humanity has never been good at quiet acceptance. They did something irrational. They watched the monster. They studied it. They died by the thousands learning how it moved, how it hunted, how it corrected mistakes. Each death taught the survivors something new. Fear became data, loss became memory, memory became strategy. Humans began to mark the ground where the monster walked. They learned where it hesitated, where it slowed. They discovered something the architects had overlooked. The monster was perfect, and perfection cannot change. The final confrontation did not happen in one place. It happened everywhere. Humans didn't fight the monster head-on. They exhausted it. They lured it into storms, into mountains, into fire it could not fully control. They used traps, not to kill, but to delay. Each delay gave humanity time, time to learn, time to teach, time to pass knowledge to children who had never seen peace. The monster adapted slowly. Humans adapted instantly. They learned to coordinate without speaking, to sacrifice without hesitation, to fight knowing they would not survive. So others could. For the first time since its creation, the monster hesitated. Not from fear, from confusion. Why would a species so fragile refuse to stop? The final blow was not a weapon. It was an idea. Humans realized the monster could only destroy what it could define. So they became undefined. They changed tactics constantly. They abandoned patterns. They broke their own rules. The monster predicted them perfectly, until humans stopped being predictable. The last human to face it did not raise a weapon. They raised a question. What happens, the human asked, when the correction becomes the mistake? The monster did not understand, and that was enough. The monster did not die. It retreated, broken, not in body, but in purpose. The architects watched in silence. For the first time, an experiment had exceeded its design. Humanity did not win because it was stronger or smarter or more advanced. Humanity won because it refused to be final. The architects recorded a single note in their eternal archives: do not attempt correction again. Because humanity was no longer a variable. It was a force. The universe would later learn many things about humans, that they bleed, that they argue, that they destroy and create in equal measure. But the first thing the universe ever learned about humanity was this: when faced with extinction, humans do not ask if they will survive, they ask how long they need to adapt. And that is why to this day the dark still remembers the moment humanity stood up for the first time, and the universe leaned back and paid attention.